in the war in Ukraine, and that Russia has proof. Well, let's get more reaction to all that with Nicholas Williams, a former senior official with the MOD and NATO. Good to talk to you, Mr. Williams. And first of all, this extraordinary claim about British forces acting in the Black Sea. Presumably, I mean, we can add this to the long list of Russian disinformation.
Well, I think you can, but the worrying thing is that Russia actually believes that the British were involved. And so it's not totally disinformation from their perspective. Yes, it doesn't have proof. It's a supposition. But they actually believe that the British are doing special operations, not just this one, but others as well. And that's the worrying thing and the dangerous thing, because it is a sign that the Russians are paranoid and will interpret any action, successful action by the Ukrainians, as being inspired by the West.
So, I mean, just to clear that up, I mean, you think they actually believe that British personnel have been involved on the ground in Ukraine? I mean, clearly there is, I mean, we all know that Britain and all the NATO allies have been helping Ukraine with technology, with weapons, with targeting. But in terms of actual boots on the ground?
Well, all NATO countries have been careful to support Ukraine, but not to have boots on the ground. And that's why I think that this Russian accusation is false. But they actually do believe that the accusation is true. And this is the worrying thing about this conflict, because the Russians believe that they are in a war with the West and anything can happen in terms of escalation.
So what are they signalling, taking Ambassador Keeling's warning as well to the UK that it's in too deep in the conflict? What signals is Russia sending out here? I mean, it's deliberate that they give Sky News an interview, the ambassador gives us an interview to say these things.
Yes, it is deliberate, and he's giving a warning that the UK shouldn't get involved beyond what it has, and not encourage the Ukrainians to resist the Russian onslaught. That's a forlorn hope, but it is.
Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit there, but can I add in there? I mean, what can they actually do about it? They can't attack. Well, one imagines they can't attack the United Kingdom.
No, they can't, and it's just bluster. And empty warning. But still, they've been doing this, as you said, for some time now.
How much of it, I mean, a lot of it is for domestic consumption in Russia itself, isn't it? Because we know that President Putin, from our perspective, certainly militarily, he looks like he's painting himself into a corner.
Well, he is, and that's another worrying thing, is that he is painting himself into a corner. He is upping the ante in threats. He is trying to do everything he can in terms of rhetoric to deter the West, but it's because Russian forces are also failing. And the NATO's and NATO allies' strategy has been very, very successful so far.
But I mean, you know, this has long been speculated about. They've talked an awful lot, the Russians, about nuclear weapons and the circumstances under which they would feel that their territorial integrity was threatened, and therefore the permission to use them. As he runs out of options, does that become more of a likelihood?
Well, it does become a likelihood that he will demonstrate the readiness of his nuclear forces, not use the nuclear forces, but demonstrate by putting them on high alert that he is not bluffing in his threat to use them in the event of an existential threat to Russia. But that in itself poses a danger, even if he doesn't want to use them and intend to use them, but he's blustering and bluffing. That can lead to a huge miscalculation on his part, just as he miscalculated when he invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February.
Mr. Williams, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. Nicholas Williams there. And now time for a look at the weather for you.